Yeah, love you say. Push that button, let me know before then.
We start after the little ad.
Oh yeah, a little ad and then we start. Okay, no, it should be good. I have to check the voices a little bit. They be sounding awfully crisp. Classic David is
Classic David
here.
already there.
But today was Yusuf Mavguide. I'm not sure. Yusuf Mavguide, I hope. Maybe that's probably not a correct pronunciation. Anyways, it's gonna be exclusive BTC, and no, Yusuf, no, it's never an exclusive to any coin or anything, really. I mean, we talk about a lot of different stuff. A lot of different questions here, a lot of other shit as well. Classic David, second. Yes, Classic David, you're second, actually. Yeah. Alex and Arnaud, Satoshi, hey. Okay, so everybody lost Satoshi by this point. Satoshi's like, Satoshi, I mean, I probably have to have a petition for Satoshi being like a third host on the channel. You should host it once, you know. You should come on and be live with us. Hong Kong weird is declining after a all-time high daily close. I went back all in once. I saw that candle. How could I have seen this coming? Well, Classic David, you did forget about one little thing, and this is exactly what we talked. Wait, did we talk this? Yeah, I think we did. I'm not like, don't take me for word for it. I'm not 100% sure, but this is what we talked in the previous stream. Is it who's the king? Is it Bitcoin? Is it Ethereum? Right? And that's the thing. I mean, Ethereum played to our path quite nicely with this second short, just being right roughly, just hitting that second TP as well right now. So you can see, you know, we kind of, not only at the end of the day, the both shorts that played out, right? And now we're kind of waiting if there's going to be more of a breakdown. But yeah, as you're saying, like, it's not so what I'm guessing you probably did. You probably went like on daily or something, and you enter right on this candle. I'm assuming you enter right on this candle. But yes, there is small difference, like we just want to talk about, right? Is who is exactly king of this bull market? You know, like you got on one hand you have Bitcoin, which acts like gold, which in some terms it's not very useful, to be honest, at all, right? It's just sort of there as a value or as a storage of value or something, as whatever you would like to name it, right? Very slow transactions, very high fees, and etc. Just it's way behind time, right? So Bitcoin definitely. Then you got your Ethereum, right? Ethereum, and things get a little bit more interesting, right? I mean, Ethereum's definitely, I'm gonna say, has a lot when it comes to this bull market, because, you know, almost every dApp or everything runs through Ethereum. And again, it is a little bit slowish. It's not as slow. Obviously, it has normal times, but when it comes to fees, yes, they are pretty big as well. But yeah, I mean, there is some new law being passed around, some EIP 1559 or something, that would substantially probably fix this issue, right? Because I have given up on Ethereum 2.0, right? I've given up on it. I mean, there's been so many delays in Ethereum 2.0 that I just don't know if it's even happening at this point in stage, right? So yes, I mean, so yeah, Classic, even if you went back in, I got good news for you, right? You're definitely you definitely are still bullish, right? So you don't have to worry about that particular thing. So yeah, didn't put enough value into ETH candle. By the way, I went into Tomo, did some research based on your recommendations. Seems like I saw Tomo. Oh my gosh, Tomo I've traded back in 2017. I mean, I was actually participating in their ICO as well. I mean, Tomo has been stuck with me for a while. I mean, they definitely always delivered on their stuff. You know, I can't say. I would say by now that they're still not forgotten in 2017, and they're still having their regular pumps. I'm gonna say a pretty solid project indeed. So yes, a good news for you still. You know, this is bullish. it is still bullish, right? Even though this is not exactly the best sort of scenario, right? You're still bullish because you haven't dropped into any major areas. You've still held the correct positions. Although I'm gonna tell you like this: if you start moving underneath this right now, this sort of a structure underneath this right now, if you start moving, then you have a high chances of tagging 1.5k in the near future, right? So yes, 1.5k at that point of time is has a really great importance, and I should say you'll have high percentage ratio of hitting that. Now 1.5k isn't necessarily a thing that I would like to catch with a knife on the second time. So what I mean by that, on the second time, we already had our pullback the first time around, and from that pullback we did not make another high, right? So upon now returning back down to the exact same scenario that we have been watching from before, it's not as strong as it would be if we have created that new high, right? It's a little bit less strong. It has a little bit more bearishness to it. So why? I mean, in this sense, I would not like to go in on a knife catch. And by what I mean by a knife catch is that I won't be setting orders for that buy on that particular area in advance, right? You gotta be keeping it safe, because in this time around, if you come all the way down to here, you could crumble underneath as well. You know, there is possibility of this key area not holding this time around, and you could crumble all. Obviously, you can hit it and continue with the market. That is definitely a big possibility of happening. But, you know, since it is in sort of sense before that you've created a new high, another touch, you have a little bit less chances of doing that, right? So in that sort of sense, I will not be hitting my buys in advance at this particular area. I will rather much be waiting for it to hit this price, if it does hit this price in the first place, you know, and then kind of waiting for that sideways action. And once it starts gaining that sideways action, enter aggressively like you did, David, on Bitcoin, like you did, David, on Bitcoin, and you know, hopefully then it's gonna continue up. So yeah, by doing that, I will get a better stop loss. Not always, but presumably this sort of situation I get the better stop loss. But what is the most important thing that I will get out of this by playing it like this is some sort of a protection, right? Because it's not the worst. It could be potentially a pretty bad thing if you come all the way down here. You have a couple of buys stacked down here, right? And then it's just a bloops right through it, right? Or you know, it just wicks right down, and closes back in, and it takes your stop loss somewhere here, right? So yeah, either way, you're left out of trade, right? And this is not exactly what you want to be doing, or you're not left out of trade, but you lose unnecessary percentages, right? We did hunt it on the first drops, but again, we used, we didn't knife catch it as much because again, right, we waited for the action, gain something to the left side, and boom, you got it on continuation, right? So same thing again, right? Yes, the one way where we did knife catch it was on the shorts. Was on the shorts right here and on the shorts right here. Now that was a knife catch, right? And there's a little bit different scenario when it comes to that one. So when you have a bull run and you see something like this, right, you have a little bit of less incentive to knife catch during these scenarios, and you would rather just go for that confirmation of continuation, right? But when you're looking for a reversal of what we did here with our shorts, we're looking for reversal, you're more inclined to knife catch during these periods when you have a deeper test like this, which have lost it in many areas, because especially this is crypto related, not so much Forex, but this is very crypto related. When you have these sort of positions where you lose multiple areas on the downside, you then tend to react on the way up, right? So when you finally test them, you do tend to react, and they almost always give you profit takes, right? And this is again what we something discussed in the previous stream. If you guys remember, like every short that we took in, it was taken as if, you know, we hedged it against our positions that we are currently in on alt, and all of these shorts always gave us a profit take, right? Even though the shorts, you could say we played against the market because we tried to protect ourselves, there was always that first profit take, and then, you know, it just continued. We never got the big boy profit take, right? We never landed that big boy one, like I'm gonna say, I don't know, the 30 to 40% drop, because there never was one. But nonetheless, we protected our main positions when we were holding our alts on longs, and we just made some money on the way down on Ethereum as well, and just, you know, just lessen the loss of our portfolio, right? So yeah, it's always pretty key that you play both sides and you not be too, you're not doing sort of, you don't have too much of a strong opinion on which side is going to go, right? It's better to keep an open mind. But yes, obviously right now everybody's in bull market, blah, blah, blah. So not a lot of people are shorting, but it is during times like this that it's absolutely crucial and important to take such short positions when they present itself, because essentially, who knows, you could be actually catching the top, and if it gives you one profit take, well, then you're already break even to begin with, so it doesn't matter, right? You don't even lose any money doing it. You just randomly save some money in between. So yeah, when it comes to it, Bitcoin was a little bit of a different story. You're right, Classic David. So if you're looking only for Bitcoin, then yes, once you start, so I'm not sure on which candle you actually FOMO'd in. If you FOMO'd in on this candle, it's not the best, right? Because essentially what I call this is breakout trading, which is not a very good way of trading to begin with, if you ask me. But if you FOMO'd in somewhere like this, right, on the pullback way down, then I'll say, okay, then yes, you play the correct terms. Now my question then is to you, where have you placed your stop loss, right? Especially on a structure like this, where in God's earth would you place a stop loss when you play it like that, right? This is also what's one of the things you have to remember when you enter sort of these trades, because it's very difficult to place a smart stop loss at it. And this is exactly what I was just saying on Ethereum. You get a little bit of a week down, it wicks you out of the trade, and now it's still it still has possibility of going your way, right? So now you're out of the trade if you've used stop loss, of course. If you haven't used the stop loss, then we got nothing to discuss. But then yes, there are a lot of people out there who are saying stop losses are not needed during the bull market, and do not listen to these people, because that is exactly what will get you wrecked in the future. But yes, you also got to be smart when placing your stop losses. So, knife catching on a structure like this, it can be challenging. I'm very curious where you place your stop loss, if you placed one anyhow, right? But if you're still in the trade, then do not panic. So far, you're still doing good as long as Ethereum is keeping up here. As long as Ethereum is not dropping this area, you will most likely continue as well. So you don't have anything to panic yet, even though it does sort of looks weakish, right? Because I do understand Ethereum has been testing every boundary possible of reversal. When I'm saying that, I'm not lying, right? Every boundary possible of reversal, Ethereum has tested it, right? Bitcoin way less. Like Bitcoin, if you look at it one weekly, just go on weekly, look at that, right? Let me just hide this. Like Bitcoin weekly looks super clean, right? Super clean as hell. You barely touched the previous highs, you could say. You didn't even touch them. That's how bullish you are on Bitcoin, right? You switch it over to Ethereum, it's an entirely different story, right? Because look at this previous high. Not only did you touch them, you closed right on them, which is a lot more bearish pattern than what you've seen here on Bitcoin, right? A lot more cleaner. So yes, when Ethereum definitely pushed the boundaries of bearishness a lot more than Bitcoin did. So yes, you still could say that Ethereum is a little bit falling behind the Bitcoin, even though that really surprises me, especially with all these alts, how they've been reacting and everything, right? And yes, David, I guess that brings us back to Bitcoin dominance chart. Let me uncover it a little bit. Let me see what's happening actually here. Oh, I see what happened. So yeah, David, isn't this funny at all? So yeah, previous week we said, right, you gotta still be careful. If it's staying up here, it can still pump. And look at that pump it did, So again, same story, David. This pump actually now gained something. So this could be now very dangerous indeed. So now you have another problem. If it comes all the way back down to here again, which it's almost there, or it is there to be honest, and you hold this, what will happen is you will retest the top and you will most likely break it on the second try. So that's also one of the issues you got right here. So yes, that would just put Ethereum even further behind BTC. But yes, the best case scenario, like I still said, would be drop it under. But as we discussed in the previous stream, I know you were saying, yeah, this is going down, but this is exactly how they fake you, David. Because essentially, look at this. It looks super weak, super weak, and you're like, oh yeah, but it's not dropping, It's just not losing that area. It looks super weak, and it bounces like 10,000 times, and then bam, and then pushes it upwards. So it goes from super weak rate to just pump, bam, happens in a couple of hours, right? or just in this case, couple of days. So yeah, I mean, this is exactly how Bitcoin has been operating since that big drop in March, right? When it liquidated a bunch of people. This is exactly how the price action sort of changed on the Bitcoin, right? Because back in the day, I would see this, I would say, yes, David, you're absolutely right. It's just gonna drop, you know? And this is exactly what Bitcoin did. It was super obvious back in the day, right? Right now, it's not so much obvious. They pull shit like this many times. And when I start seeing a price action like this, you know, my ass starts to squeeze a little bit because potentially I'm expecting a breakout. And exactly, it happened the same thing here. But luckily, it didn't go too much over our positions of what we are looking for, right? It still went under our area that we have marked here for a continuation. But if you zoom in really tightly, right? If you zoom in really closely, you can see that we actually had a couple of candles above our area. So yes, this gives us now power to possibly, you know, hold this bottom and continue, which is another problem. But I do still hope that this is gonna play out this line and now hitting that green area, or supposedly even a little bit lower than green area. That would be kind of what the most perfect-ish scenario when it comes to this sort of structure. So yes, guys, we got a couple of issues now today. So yeah, 2 weeks ago we were calling alts longs left and right, and many of those alts popped, right? I mean, Ant was probably the best one. I think Ant was probably the best one what we had, following strongly, but YFI, I mean, YFI hasn't made anything mostly. Yeah, YFI was just sniper on both sides. Was it also Reef? I think Reef was also one of the good ones, but then they had some sort of a hack or something, I don't even know. They had something bad happening here, and they actually dropped for like how much? 40%, holy shit. So I'm not even sure what they had. They had something bad. So we are now in a very tricky position, right? So the thing is, I have done like a video on Litecoin last night, as you might have seen, right? The problem right now is you're waiting for that confirmation. Are we going up? Are we going down, right? So I wouldn't be calling too many longs this particular week, right? I was calling some of them. I was like 50-50 the previous week. But now this week I'm really tight, you know? So it's really hard for me to call you good for longs. Oh, wait, actually one that pretty played good. It was UTK. Look at that. That was a beautiful trade. And it's still waiting for that last one. So yeah. I'm not gonna, I don't want to be calling too many longs when it comes to this sort of scenario right now, because yes, Ethereum needs to make its choice finally, right? Are we going above the new highs, Ethereum? Are you gonna make it happen, or are we going lower and we're gonna test quite a substantial low, right? I mean, definitely we need to make a decision, and we are trapped in between the devils. I mean, no man's land, as you would say, right? We're trapped between no man's land. We have tested all the levels to the bottom. You could almost say almost all of the levels on the bottom, and we have tested almost all of the levels to the above, right? So we have tested both sides. Now it's time to make a choice. And again, it's not looking super weak, even though you could say, right, it's a little bit weakish, and so that's what is going to mean that it's going to pop. It doesn't look that super weak, like something that we were discussing before in Bitcoin dominance. This looks more stronger than that, right? So I wouldn't just put my finger on it and say, yes, that's exactly what's going to happen, right? So yes, guys, if you guys got some questions, right, because now it's mainly up to you, right? This week has definitely been a little bit harder when it comes to you know, tackling the altcoins and all of those. So yes, if you guys got any questions about any altcoins, well, I can probably check Tomo, if they already talked about Tomo. Okay, so Tomo, I haven't pulled a trade for a while. Wait, when is the last time I pulled a trade in Tomo? Was this the last trade I did? That doesn't seem right. It's all back in February. Did I do a trade here? I do not remember. But what would be your entry for this trade as well, Classic? I mean, I'm not sure where you took it. I mean, was this after previous stream? So that would be on 9th. Okay, so if you're taking it around here, that's not too bad. That's not too bad on a retest. But then you would obviously have to take a profit take here, because you don't know if this is going to continue. Which actually was stacked right at the top. And now you're kind of waiting for exactly same thing. So so you see the issues here, right? I mean, the issue right here when you got it, right? So This is obviously gonna continue if Ethereum goes up, but if Ethereum fails, bam, you know, you're gonna be retesting possibly even this down here, right? This or this down here. So yeah, you got possibility of going deep. So again, you can see alts resonating the friendship with Ethereum as well when it comes to it. So yeah, you know how it is when it comes to this case. Silvio says bake a cake, Alex. So you're telling me to bake a cake? Wait, this is not bake on this shit cake. Arnaud, are you gonna bake a cake?
Oh, not today, mate.
Wait,
No.
how is that not baked? It's not baked. What the shit is baked? Oh, bake. Oh, yes. Now I remember. Yep. Now I remember. Wait, where did we check this one? On 9th of March. Huh. That's interesting what happened with this one. Let me just see something. That's interesting. This one just dropped this area like it's absolutely nothing. Didn't give a shit and just continued down. When was this? 12th of March. That was on Friday. I mean, the test of this is definitely nice, but what I'm thinking here is because of this and this. But this area now again is key. You know, this area now again is absolute key. This area is absolute key. You know, you gotta hold it if you wish to continue, and this was exactly what we were playing here on the last time, and it dropped smoothly, and now I went and retested the whole bottom. So now again, this area is totally key. So if you have a trade, you definitely should have taken this in this area right now and hope for the best in this case, because if Ethereum is not gonna continue, this is gonna drop as well. So cake. Wait, is it BUSD? Guess I can say the same shit. Okay, this is a little bit better. Yep, same as here, man. Gotta hold this. And if you don't hold this, you're gonna be retesting. Oh boy, you're gonna be going deep. Wait, let me check how deep are we talking about. About here deep. Yeah, something like this. That wouldn't be unreasonable drop, would it? No, only 30-40% after such pump. Yeah, that's way from way. Wait, how much was this drop actually? Oh my gosh, I'm using the wrong tools. Yeah, that's like, look at that. This drop is what you would be expecting here somewhat. Oh yeah, because I'm moving. So yeah, this drop would what you would be expecting somewhere around here, right? What you got here, you would be expecting around here as well if this something happened. Then the only question is, can you continue, right? Because then you would have a hard resistance, much harder resistance than what you had here, right? Here it wasn't such a hard resistance, but here it is a pretty hard resistance. So yes, you have a pretty defined profit take, right? Pretty defined profit take. So it really makes it a pretty easy trade from that sort of perspective, if you know what I'm talking about, right? Definitely makes it very easy continuation. So your question, where is everybody today? I do not know, Classic David. Probably people knew that there's not going to be much happening today because due to the market being in such condition that it is, and they didn't show up. That's what I'm guessing is. Maybe Arnaud, do you know where our regular customers are? Regular customer. But yeah, Arnaud, do you know where they are, man?
Nope.
Yeah. Yep. So sadly, they have left us. You know, but I'm pretty sure Satoshi's stuck in an office or something. So yeah. Wait, could you tell us in short how to properly use Fib? Well, Fib is the one I want to avoid as much as possible. Just simply due to the fact because it's not a reliable tool. Right, it's not a reliable tool, right? So the problem is, like many times during the videos, right, you got one issue. Like for instance, let's just say coin like this, right? I mean, I hold some of the coins, right, and I trace the stop loss with it, right, and as in I show in videos, I try to trace the stop loss, right, like something like this. So I'm gonna be looking for is something like this. I will wait for the structure to form, right. I will, for example, enter a trade right here, right now, right. So now I would wait for this structure to break the top, right, so to reclaim over this top right here. And I will wait for the structure to make a pullback to form another structure that will propel us higher. So it's something case like this, right? So let's just say then pulls back and reacts from this spot here and pumps above the high. I will now place my stop loss underneath this, because this is how usually you build the staircases like in crypto, right? And this is how I would usually trace some of the leftovers when I have on my coins, right? And it does look simple, but it's much harder in practice, right? So in theory, it's super simple, much harder in practice, right? So when I do something like this, I usually recommend doing this for the videos or for the people that are holding coins, because look at it, right? When you were down here, let's just say when you were down here, you could have never predict that this is gonna end up being it. This is gonna end up being up 9,500%, right? You can never predict this, right? But simply by using this method, right, you would have never gotten stopped out, right? So if you just did something like this, you would have never gotten stopped out. It would come really close here, right? But if you look at it, you would never stopped out. And then from that point onwards, if I delete everything, when that forms, when that Jesus Christ, are you gonna, when that forms and this pumps above it, you move your stop loss underneath here. Now you wait for structure to confirm again, and when it does, boom, boom, you move your stop loss here, and again, right? And this is exactly what you would be doing, right? And then you move your stop loss here, right? And you move it here, and you move it here, and you move it here, right? And that's exactly, and right now what you're waiting for is for this to go above this high, and if it goes above this high, you move this stop loss to here, right? And then again, you're waiting for the same thing, and you move it to here, right? That is how you could. And potentially speaking, if I was using profit take system, which is much easier to explain, to just show people profit where to take it, obviously everybody still makes money, right? But I'm telling you, you would have never captured 9,500%, right? You would have never done that in the real, right? So thus I jump in those times of needs, I jump to potential fib retracement tools, and I like to go from kind of see where the main important area is, and I draw a fib from important area to important area, and then I kind of try to predict where that profit take is gonna be located, right? So in this case, I would probably say at like 4.6, right up here is gonna be a next profit take. Even though it's not very reliable tool in that sense, it does help me a lot in the future, especially when I'm creating these videos, right? And I usually like to do this before, so I don't waste time during the videos making the fib, right? Because it does take a little bit of a readjustments here to there, because you have to be looking at how fibs actually reacted to those sort of important areas before you do it, right? So thus, I rather just, pull the fib and actually look some of the profit takes in advance, so I can call them out. And yes, people still, at the end of the day, they make money, right? But they are not making the max possibility of the cash they could. And this is exactly what I'm saying. You can't predict this shit unless you got a crystal ball, because if there's nothing to the left side, the only thing you can possibly be doing is following your stop loss, right? With the structure, how the structure evolves. And every structure on every coin is going to be different. Depends on how much they overextend or underextend versus Ethereum or Bitcoin at that possible time. So, what I would suggest to you, forget the fib and actually learn how to read the structures, so you can move your stop losses with them, and thus you will almost never get stopped out. And by the time you will get stopped out, you will have a 70% chance of hitting that reversal. So which means that you got stopped out on a good spot anyways, right? And if the 30% plays out, fuck it, you still made a lot more than everybody else did, right? And not only that, you were a lot safer doing it as well. The curse of that is you will never hit the top. Like, you will never hit the top. That's the gist or mist of it, right? Because you can see here that you can, if you keep this stop loss and you drop down, you miss the top by 65%. But still, you gotta look it from the other direction. You still made a lot more than everybody else, because this is still 2.7k%, right? So yeah. in that sort of sense. You will never hit the top and you will never hit the bottom, but you know, there's still a lot of good money to be made in the middle if you don't want to gamble. Obviously you can always gamble and pull something like this off, but this sort of gambles, you know, you will pull it off once, maybe twice, and all the other times you're gonna lose substantial amount of money. That's almost for certain, unless you're like really lucky when it comes to it. Okay, and see, let's see what we got here. So we played this one in a while. Yep. So yeah, this is exactly the same, for example, right? Because we were running from the left side here. You just gotta pull something from the book, and you can see it here. Reaction on 12 was quite nice on KNC. So this was a good scenario. Here it actually played out what you were thinking about, right? But all the other times you don't know, right? So we can probably delete this now as well because it's already played out. Now let's see. I mean, Kyber looks pretty good, you know, holding this. Pretty bullish. Now holding this. Yep, holding this. You're definitely gonna go over the high if you hold this. Pretty good. Nothing bad to say about this. If you're holding Kyber, there's definitely no jigs to sell yet. You don't need to sell it. Yeah, it's a hold still. But yeah, like I said, if Ethereum fails, this is gonna fail as well. So you can kind of see there, everybody is at crucial areas right now, right? So it's really up to Ethereum at this point when it comes to alts. You know, Ethereum needs to moon, and they will moon with it, as you can see. Kyber is no exception. The only question is it gonna outrun Ethereum, or Ethereum is gonna outrun him? Well, judging from this sort of a structure, I think the Kyber should do pretty good if Ethereum decides to go up as well. Hi Alex, been hearing many places Bitcoin levels of retracement to 42k or runs to 36k, 73k. What makes those levels possible? Many thanks. Okay, so when it comes to the top levels, well, again, you are people make assumptions to what is possible and what is not, right? So as we were saying on the beginning of the stream, right? So 42k, what we are actually waiting at the moment. So yes, first of all, Bitcoin looks a little bit different, right? It looks a little bit different than everybody else. So what I'm saying is, I'm gonna make a bold adjustment here to say, like, if you go all the way to 42k, right? So the 42k, I would say, if something like this happens, right? Let me tell you what you're gonna do if something like this happens to 42k, right? You're most likely gonna test the top somewhere around here, and you're gonna drop even lower. Because 42k is not a good level. It's not the level you want to test. That level was tested. If it tests again, you will most likely fail it on a pullback. You will have a pullback, but pullback won't be strong enough to continue. And you will test the top again and fail. And sometimes you will not even test the top. You will test the middle and fail. And you will most likely either go something around to the mist of 38k or even lower when we were waiting on the first time, 32k. That is way more, those levels are way more substantial than the 42k one, right? So if something like this happens, I'm pretty sure this is gonna be a high potential scenario for that sort of test of the level, right? That's number one. When it comes to 63k, well, you basically already almost touched it. So I'm not even sure where people are getting 63k, right? I'm not even sure where they're getting this sort of profit takes. But what I'm seeing right now is either it's going to be, like you said, 75k or around 100. Around 100, yeah. So I would be looking something around here or around 100. That would be 100, obviously being a psychological one, right? I'm not doing this from price action. This is psychological more than this. This is more price action based because, again, I pulled the fib because we have nothing to left, and this is where it came to, right? So that's what I would be expecting, those sort of consensus, if we do prove to be bullish, which we still are, right? Let's be said that out loud. We still are bullish, nothing to be afraid yet. But yes, if the 42k happens, then you'll most likely be seeing either 38k or 32k or 33k. I mean, high chances for it, to be honest, on a retest of that level. Yeah, so I'm not sure, who's saying that out loud, but could be indicators. But then again, I'm not even sure where indicator traders would get that kind of information. But sometimes, a lot of, you gotta say, a lot of influencers make those assumptions just, they just make something. They have to, they need content, right? They just need content. So they just make some shit up a lot of times, right? They just, some expectations, right? So yeah, that would make more sense at the moment. And H bar, please. H bar. H bar. Holy shit, look at the H bar. Fuck, not a lot to say, man. Not a lot to say. Jesus, man, I've been looking at this coin consistently for weeks and weeks and weeks, and it did 4,000%. Jesus, some of the runs these guys did. Well, I guess we can now wait. No, we can still keep this one. We can still keep this one, because this one is going to be hit one time in the future. So this one is then reacted, this one reacted, this one reacted. So yeah, the only one that hasn't reacted, and if you look at the path of this coin, it's going to be this one. This one is then going to be next one that is going to react. Because if you look at the path of the coin, all of this always reacted. Went down, reacted, didn't reacted. Reacted, reacted. Yeah, I'm going to say this one is the next one. Because all of the times they did react, all of the other did react, this one didn't. 50% drop. Okay, fuck. 50% drop, that's steep. Then maybe this one. But this one is not, doesn't seem to be the key swing. I mean, it is the key swing, don't get me wrong. But it's not visible on the daily, that's my concern. This one is more of a high time frame. So I'm gonna say if this one down here is 70% and this one up here is like 50. But if you look at it from the past of it, let's just see how much percentage are we really talking about, right? Let's go down to like 1 hour. Let's see if this is even worth it, to be honest. So let's say we are gonna go and knife catch it at this position right here. What's the kind of stop loss can we expect? Oh, 10%, or that's not too bad. Wait. Oh, we're talking about 45 to 50%. Yeah, this is very worth it. This is worth it, Silvio. I mean, this is worth it. A trade here is definitely worth it. I mean, we're talking 1 to 5, 1 to 4, 1 to 5. This is definitely worth it, man. So yeah, you can definitely go on and play this one still. I wouldn't mind anything about it. Yep. Well, hey guys, check BNT USDT. Evgeny is also here. BNT USDT, Bancor. Didn't Bancor recently open some sort of a farming system that they have? Oh my gosh, yep, I knew it. They opened some sort of a farming system. So let me guess, this one went up again 6,000%. Jesus Christ, man, what happened to these coins, huh? What happened to these coins? I get stunned every time I see this. And we can do the same thing as we did on previous coins. How did this one react? This one reacted. Never got tested. Reacted. Took a little while. Reacted. Nah, this one didn't exactly. Oh wait, it did. Never mind, it reacted. Didn't. So again, we can make a pretty good assumption that this is gonna be next, man. No, wait, let me just check the percentages again. Oh yeah, this is spread reported, yeah. Especially if the Ethereum doesn't hold. This is gonna get tested quickly, man. You're not gonna have issues with that one. Yeah, this is pretty clean. Can you check for us? Yes, Ada. So yeah, right now it's a pain. Too many things are over the top. It's like this one, wait. Let me see if there's an actual possibility of Bittrex here. Oh yeah. So it said hold this area, continuation. It didn't hold it, did it? Nope, it crashed down under. This is sad, my boys, this is sad. But it's still a key area. Now you've seen when it goes a little bit deeper, right? So this would be your prime thing for continuation, but when it goes a little bit deeper, right? You're instantly rejected, right? Instantly rejecting, and this is where you have your hedge positions, exactly what we were saying before on the Ethereum. So this could be used for hedge positions, but again, I'm gonna say right now I wouldn't do much with it. Like if you're holding it, this is still a hold, right? So what I would do now, wait for this to be reclaimed, has to go absolutely above this left side, boom, play it another time, and then wait for this continuation. That's exactly what I would do in this one. Actually, now that you mention it, let me check Ethereum Bitcoin, because I actually want to see how this one went. Okay, so this one is still waiting to get filled, if I'm not mistaken, right? So this was the area that want to fill. Okay, no, again, yeah, same thing, right? So this has to go now above this, gets filled, and then moon. So this is what you want to see at Ethereum, because Ethereum is still falling behind Bitcoin. Shit, still falling behind Bitcoin, yeah. Pretty good. Ethereum needs to start stepping up. Wait, let me see it how it looks like on weekly. Yep, still didn't test this. I mean, you gotta get to at least up here, Ethereum. I mean, come on, Ethereum. We gotta get to at least up there. Come on, that's easy, man. 60%, easy, man. Easy. That's easy. Ethereum, Bitcoin, Bitrust. Let me see if it looks a little bit different. Oh, shit. It actually does look a little bit different. Still, yeah, still pretty good spot. You need to test this, but you can't actually crack down. I mean, you didn't even lose this spot. So this has to continue. This has to even go higher. I'm not gonna even like this. I mean, this. If this something like this would have happened on alt, I would be aiming all the way up to there. All the way up to this. So maybe even higher, you know, 100. Oh, Jesus, Ethereum has so much room against Bitcoin. You're just wishing is that Bitcoin doesn't crash when Ethereum is doing this, because then Ethereum price won't go up as much as you think it would, right? It will just be printing more Bitcoins with Ethereums, but not particularly cash. Again, one of those. The fuck do you do on these coins, right? One of those. Can hardly give you a smart suggestion, you know. It's still bullish, you're still holding. There's nothing bearish about this. Look at this. Absolutely nothing bearish about it. I'm not sure it is not something else on Hobin maybe. Has richer history. Yeah, this is bullish as fuck. You're holding it, man. And enjoy your coin. This, because I am lost for words. Like, yeah, I'm lost for words. Exactly, that's what I am when I see coins like this. This is absolutely nothing to do with this. You just hold it until they lose area, right? So I'm telling you, man, if you're in this coin, you hit the jackpot. That's for sure. Because so far it looks like it's still gonna continue some more. So you'll be very well off, for sure. Litecoin USDT, bam. Okay, so Litecoin. We did a video for it, and this was a really risky trade that we have taken. So this was on 12th of... When was exactly that the video aired? 14. Actually, yesterday, actually. Okay, so yeah. So okay, very risky trade, like we already named in the video. And right now, exactly, this area has to hold for us to continue, right? Oh, nearly got taken out of that stop. Oh, that was close. Yeah. So right now, gotta hold this area for you to continue. Exactly, and again, it's all up to ETH. If the ETH is gonna crash and burn, this is gonna go with it for sure. Take a look at it. Got in at 22. Wait, 22 cents. 22 cents. Let me check this again. Oh man, that is beautiful. My God, that is a beautiful trade that you've pulled. I'm gonna say you could hardly got a better entry. Not gonna lie to you. You would have hardly got a better entry, to be honest, with this one. That was beautiful entry. Yep, so you definitely made it 4 times. And you're well on your way to 5th times if this holds. And so far, doesn't give me any reason. The volume, exactly, look at the volume. Volume is beautiful as well. So if Ethereum goes forward, this is definitely gonna be one of your probably best plays you had in a while. What I'm guessing, I have a lot of faith in Mana. Yeah, I would too. From seeing this chart, I would definitely be a hard supporter. Rant, no, we'd only do it on Tuesdays, right? Tuesday, every Tuesday, 4 p.m. UTC time. So yeah, as I was saying, you know, still hold this area, still gonna continue up. If Ethereum holds, you will have no problems. This is gonna be a win as well. Solana, yes, Solana, isn't Solana one of those that's pumped all the way up to shreds? Because I still know we traded this coin so much, you know, we traded this coin so much when they were going sideways, and then they all just kind of escaped because the bull market is just too damn strong. And the same thing with Solana, right? Not much to say. Like, you know, you holding this area, correct one. You hold the mid, you're gonna continue all it upwards. So this week is definitely not a happy week for alts, because, you know, it's so heavily dependent right now. Everything is at a key spot, you know. Solana, I mean, pretty much 80% of alts that we have checked today are on the key spot of continuation. Litecoin, Solana, brief, I don't know, many of them, right? So, and again, here again, right? If you start dropping underneath this, it's gonna get the yikes. You start dropping, you swoop the lows of this, well, shit. Everything turns, right? So what you need to do right now is hold this exact area right here to continue, right? And again, so yeah, I mean, Tesla. Okay, let's check Tesla. True Loss of Words says, can you make it so people can donate through Super Chat? Well, it's no need for donations, man. We do have a channel, so you can check us out there. So yeah, no need for donations. I just hope you do make good gains with that manner, right? Okay, gotcha, subscriber. Good advice. Well, Ren, thank you very much for subscribing. You know, just keep on trading for now, right? So far, there's nothing wrong with it. So yeah, sorry. As I was saying, Ruslan, Solana, like I said, man, it's the same thing as we were. Wait, what's the other coin that you asked for before? Kyber. Exactly the same thing, man. It's at a key area. If it's hold this, it's gonna go up, right? But you can see Kyber has breaking out a little bit more than Solana is, right? So yeah, when the coins are like this, when the coins are on the way to the all-time high and they're looking like this, it's really hard to predict, but you can look for these small areas that need to be absolutely hold, and if it starts closing underneath this, you know you have an issue and you have to be jumping out. And this is very particular at Solana, because what you have been doing, look, you've created a lower low, you haven't created a higher high. See, that's the issue here. But now you have created down and you haven't created a lower low either. You have created a higher low. But now you finally broke this one, right? So now it's really for the question. For now, wait, let me delete it because now I made it a little bit too messy. So now for this logical is you've created lower low, sorry, higher low, and you haven't created here a higher high. So now you have created here a higher high. You definitely don't want to create a lower low after this. So what you need to do is definitely hold this for you so that you now create a higher high again from this and possibly just continue over, right? So you most definitely do not want to be dropping underneath this low. Definitely not. If you start to drop underneath this low, you will have big issues, right? If you start swooping this after creating such pattern, right? And especially after not breaking this previous high yet, right? Because after you break this high, a lot of things change. But before you do that, and you actually start dropping and you swoop the low, then that's the very big problem when it comes to it. So yes, Solana is a little bit different when it comes to that sense, right? So yes, you have to definitely be holding this in order to continue, for sure. Tesla. Okay, so Tesla, shit. Oh fuck, what did I I automatically wrote Tesla USDT. Automatically. Okay, so same shit we got at Tesla, right? That was a very beautiful play for the short. But yeah, like I said again, right? This is exactly what you need to break in order to hit this red box, and it's still struggling a little bit. Let me see what it did in the past week, because I'm not really watching Tesla at the beginning. Oh, it's still struggling, you know? I know we made this area in the previous stream, and you can still see, you know, it's exactly struggling at the area that we made. So I'm thinking we made around here then. Yeah, so we were around here, but previously. So exactly, you see, it's struggling exactly at our area, and this is what I'm telling you. This is a key area. When it breaks it, you're gonna be tagging that red box. If it doesn't break it, you know where you're gonna be ending it, right? Given that this is Tesla, it's probably gonna break it. Let's be honest. I mean, people are eating up Tesla like it's free real estate, right? So yeah, it's most likely gonna break it, right? Ethereum, you have said that it has a huge potential only compared to BTC or also BUSD. The problem is, Yusuf, you know, BUSD is a stable coin. You know, you mean like huge potential to gain in dollar value in that case? Because, I mean, yes, if you go above here, then yes. I mean, as long as you don't drop underneath here, that's what I'm saying. My idea was, as long as you don't drop underneath here, you should be good, right? If you start dropping underneath here, like I said, you will be testing a little bit deeper at 1.5 grand. I mean, I don't think chart looks any different with BUSD, does it? No, it's exactly the same. It's a stable coin. Yeah. It's a stable coin, yeah. The only issue what I was explaining here is the problem of this is, right? So let's just say Bitcoin starts declining. Right, Bitcoin starts declining slowly, and then Ethereum is, for the first time, it's not going to be as weak as it is at the moment, starts to upcline a little bit. So then in that case, you could potentially hit all the way up to here or even higher, or even up to here, right, and not gain any dollar value. But that's like small chance of that happening, because if this is going to go up, the most likely stable coins will increase as well. You know, so when it comes to stable coins, like I said, right, as long as you're holding this, let me go a little bit lower time frame. As long as you hold this area, you should be fine. If you lose this area, you're definitely going to be testing 1.5k. That's like 70% chances plus that's going to happen at this sort of range. Because what we were just explaining at Solana, exactly the same thing is going to start happening here, right? Because this is, right, a lower time frame Solana right now, right? Wait, let me click back to Solana to give you a perspective. Look at this, right? Exactly, if you look at this, this is Ethereum right now. If you cut it away here, this could potentially be Ethereum right now, right? This could potentially be Ethereum right now. So what happens here is, if you don't jump, let's just say right here, right? If you don't break the top, so you start losing this area, where you're gonna end up is, you know, right back at the origin, which in this case would be 1.5k, right? You will hit this, right? And then it's absolutely crucial for you not to swoop this low. So then you would continue up and you would try to test the highs as well, right? You will try to test these highs or possibly break them. If you break them, you confirm that a little bit of a bullishness. So this is exactly how Ethereum would be playing out in some sort of a sense if that's something like this would have happened, right? So yeah, it is quite similar to Solana, but a little bit further behind right now. So yeah, you can see it in that sort of case. So let's just say it fails right now, fails on this area, fails, bam, it's gonna be hitting here. And then you have to be keeping this low. You don't want to swoop this. If you swoop this, this is going to be a shitter, right? So you got to be holding this, and then you're going to go back, test the top. So you're either going to reject the top, or you're going to be a little bit above the top, or you're just going to moon, right? One of these three scenarios. And if you, for example, if you don't break the top, then you're again going to test the bottom, and you have to hold the bottom. You don't want to swoop this low after that. If you do swoop this low, then shit, you're going to crumble down to like 1 grand or something like this, right? This top would be absolutely crucial then to hold. And then compared to the scenario, one of these three scenarios, depends on which one is going to play out, we will act accordingly again. So your most perfect scenario is testing this top or even breaking it and then pulling back for a little bit of refill and continuation, right? So it depends on which sort of scenario is going to play at that point. But what I'm saying is this is now low-key trying to do Solana, right? So that's what I'm saying. If it drops underneath this, you're going to test the low. You don't want to break it, then you go up. You want to break the highs, right? You want to go a little bit higher, go back, right? Refill here, because if you don't break the high, you will test the low again. I do want to be not breaking this low if you want to continue, right? So it is low-key the same kind of thing. Very similar. Very similar. It's not exactly, to unexperienced eye, it looks totally different, but when it comes to logic behind it, almost the same thing. Almost the same thing. Where could 1 inch moon profit take be once? Oh shit, let's see, 1 inch. Well, like I said to you, David. Holy shit, that was a nice snipe. Oh yeah, I remember this one. I actually filled the position in this one. So when this is broken, like I told you, classic, you know, don't try to predict the profit take on this one, you know, just follow it with the stop loss, you know, don't, because, you know, 1 inch is a glorified Uniswap. Who says it can go up to 30 bucks? You know, who the hell says that, right? It can go up to 40 bucks, 80 bucks, 100 bucks, you know? So just follow it with a stop loss rather than, you know, taking a profit take once it's gonna be all-time high, right? Do go more complicated way, David. I know you like to trade, so you're definitely up to it to go for a little bit more complicated thing. What do you expect Ethereum price prediction to be in August? Oh shit, like Edward, I'm gonna tell it like this. If anybody is trying to drop your prediction like this, it's straight up bullshit. And I know a lot of people are doing this, but I'm gonna tell you, man, this is like there's no way a soul on earth can predict me a timeline, right? So let's just say, when they say, well, I expect Bitcoin to be 100 grand by the end of December this year, right? Well, fuck that shit. How can you actually predict a timeline when that is going to happen? So to some degree, you can predict that this price is going to break this top, right? To some degree, you can predict that this is going to happen, right? But is this going to happen this year? Or is this going to happen next year? No soul on earth can predict that. Unless they got some super a lot of information and they're super talented, or I should say super educated when it comes to certain market, and only then they will be able to do it on a single chart or like 2 charts, right? But for somebody to just say, yeah, in 2 months it's gonna be up there, fuck that, man. That's 99% a pure ass bullshit, right? So do not fall for that, something like this. Even when you see it on Twitter, just do not, like, when I see that shit, I just like to wipe my glasses from all the steam that is getting piled on them at that point. So yeah, it's a bullshit. It's bullshit. Time prediction is definitely bullshit. We don't have like a time machine here that somebody would be able to do something like that. But I will definitely follow the price action of Ethereum. Like I said, if it's gonna break the top, then I'm hopefully gonna be seeing 2.5k on Ethereum quite soon. Is 2.5k Ethereum going to happen this year or the next one? I don't fucking know. But if it's gonna break the top, I'm gonna be betting that this is gonna be around that sort of area that Ethereum is gonna be hitting next. So we'll see what happens, right? Alex, check .USDT touched a lot of areas by the way up. What do you think about? Okay, .USD. Ooh, .USDT. See, very similar to Ethereum, what Ethereum is experiencing right now, right? Didn't break the previous high, but it also is not losing the lows. And look at how close this was. Shit, that was extremely close, right? Extremely close in this guy. We kind of got lucky that this week was there. But yes, this is a little bit on the weaker side. So let me actually find some areas down below. Let me see what you're talking about, Evgeny. Let me see what you're talking. Oh wait, we already. I already got it marked out. Yeah, Evgeny, this is a trade where I would take in my sleep, man. This is a no-brainer, man. Just set up buys here for sure, man. This is a trade you definitely want to be in, and then you already know the profit take. Let's just say from right down the middle up to the right. It's a good 40 to 50% profit take. Yeah, that's for sure, Evgeny. This is an easy trade, man. Easy area to take a trade in. So be ready, because this is, it's not like, I'm not gonna say it's gonna fall yet because it didn't do anything dangerous yet, but it's looking a little bit more on the weakish side than it is on stronger side. What I'm looking for is, I'm seeing this, sideways, a lot of sideways, and I'm seeing a little bit of this, volume decreasing slowly, and you have went up for so much. Now, part of this is because the price action slowed down a little bit. You're trading in a range, so that's why people are not interested a lot as they were here, because you were pumping. So now you just gotta wait here for the decision, right? Is it gonna go up or down, right? It's easy. It's really relatively really easy, right? So far, if you're holding dot coins, do not sell them. This is not a sellable coin. But if you start dropping underneath this low, then yes, you gotta exit that position. You start closing underneath this low, you exit that position, and you wait for something lower to test. And in most likely cases, you will be testing this. But in this case, I probably think that Ethereum at that point is gonna fail, because we are talking about a drop of, Jesus, can I please? A drop of 40%. Yeah. I mean, we're gonna have a pullback then, probably on Ethereum. The 40% drop happens on the most hottest network currently, called Polkadot network, right? So I'm still giving it probably has a decent chance of continuation. If the Ethereum goes up, it's probably gonna continue, go over to the next top, hit over the $50, right? So that would be pretty good. What coins you think is underrated? Thank you, Alex, for the live. Hey, thank you for watching, Ildon, as well. What coins I think are underrated? Probably the coins that have real revenue behind them. What would you say some of the coins are underrated or not? What would you say? Because 2 months ago we said Polkadot is underrated. We even made a video about it, and I agreed at that point. But now we are so high up, and it's like top 5 coin on CoinMarketCap, that I'm not sure if it's underrated anymore, right? I know it's the hottest network, but right now not so sure. Maybe Binance Smart Chain coins, like there's actually one coin that just got out, Binance Smart Chain View it's called, right? And what they are doing is they're doing like a text tool. So you got chart text, right? You got chart text like this, right? You got chart text like this on Uniswap. So what they're gonna do exactly the same thing as DEX tools or chart text on Binance Smart Chain, right? So I think that one is a little bit undervalued for now, because when you look at it like this, sure, if you look at the chart, right, this is the tokens of Chartex. At the beginning, you went down, obviously, right, because nobody was using charts. But as new projects get to list on their platform, you know, the prices slowly started going up, because you do need a charting tool at the end of the day. You do need, and Uniswap, the trading view doesn't feel many of those charts were listed on Uniswap, or only Uniswap, right? So you will need a tool like this, and I do think Binance Smart Chain View, or what it's called, I think something like that, is actually going to be a pretty crucial point if that chain is going to rise, and it's probably going to rise. It's because it's from Binance, right? So it's probably going to be pretty huge in the future. So I'm guessing the charting tool is going to be needed a lot. So I'm going to give it a wild guess that it's probably underrated at this point, right? Fundamental one: in order for long-term call of $7,500 Bitcoin to come true, most of the institutions would have to unload. Tesla, Sailor, do you still think? Tesla will most likely not unload their position ever. You know, that's probably true, right? Tesla will most likely not unload their position like ever. Some of them will, but Tesla is definitely not one of them. Tesla is not a trader company, right? Tesla is a company that just is making a wild bet here that they will be swooping up the same kind of people that they did with Lambos, right? Like Lambos did in 2017. Tesla is trying to do exactly the same thing, and they're not here to trade. They're here to capture the market of cryptocurrency, because they do think these people are their future, and they probably are their future, right? So Tesla is very smart when he's doing this. Tesla is playing on a lot bigger balls than what we are talking about here, David. You know, it's a way of getting free exposure. So let me assure you that Tesla will probably, most likely, I'm willing to almost bet everything here that they will never unload their position, no matter where Bitcoin takes its place. Because I do think there's a lot of marketing and a lot of things going behind this, and it's probably a very, very smart move when it comes to it, right? Other funds, well, most likely they will definitely hedge. I'm not gonna say they will unload their positions, but do not think they will not hedge. They will definitely hedge. If they will not hedge in crypto world, they will hedge somewhere in the real world against any other market. Like they will find a pair in in real markets, like I don't know, gold, SP 500, something that will hedge against their position drop offs on Bitcoin. This is what hedge funds do. They hedge their positions, right? And if there isn't one to hedge it against crypto, they will create one through some banks, right? This is exactly what they do. This is their job, this is their living, and they will find a way to hedge their positions. So I'm not gonna say that they're gonna unload their positions, but they're for sure gonna hedge it if they're not gonna do anything else, right? Do you think it's good to say a buy order on Litecoin Usdt? Buy? No. I mean, if you do not know what you're doing, do not set a buy for a 50x leverage. Especially if you're not using stop loss, man. This is not a good idea to begin with. Right now, no. Because if it hits that point, it's going to be dangerous. You don't want to go that low again. Like, what I'm saying is you want to hold this area if you wish to continue. I do not want to go under this low anymore. Do not want to be trading underneath this low. So no, man. So first of all, I don't have a problem with 50x leverage, because most of the people don't understand how leverage even works. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter, right? Like I already said this many times, right? I use consistently leverage of 500 in Forex. I use it consistently, and many people are thinking like, first thing that people say to me, you're absolutely mad. And I'm like, no. No, you just don't understand how leverage works, because if you risk 1% of your account, it doesn't matter if you risk it on 2% leverage or 500x leverage, right? It does not matter. But it does matter if you don't use a stop loss and you choose to use that kind of a leverage, then yes, you will sooner or later you liquidate yourself. Let me tell you that. You're 100% sure, or I'm gonna say like this, 99% sure you're gonna get liquidated sooner or later if you do this, if you use it without stop loss, right? So you know, I'm not really keen of Litecoin going back there. I'm not really keen, because at this point of forward, if it's gonna go back down here and swoop this low, I'm pretty sure it's gonna go lower. I don't see a very much potential of you setting a buy right there. Obviously, it could be a wick and then goes back in, but I'm just gonna say it's a really low potential, you know, of this being a successful trade. So I'm not gonna suggest it in my case. It's not something I would say, right? If you wanna do it, you do it, but I'm gonna suggest strongly against it, because it's not one of the positions I would have ever considered taking at this point. Castle David will lose 32k area of likely Bitcoin will visit 90 to 20k area or 12k area next. Do not underestimate the power of panic. Panic will happen, as it did back in the day. It will happen again, and a lot of the hedge funds and everything else, right, did not unload there, did not unload here, David, you know, and there were plenty of hedge funds here already. And they still held through all of this, but they did, again, what they did, they hedged their positions, because this is what they're paid for and this is how they do their living. And yes, and for 20k, I'm gonna say for 20k, you got such a high chances of happening for 20k in the future, especially on crypto. For 20k, I don't know, you got like, let's just say chances for 20k are super big at the moment. In the future, right? You don't know when it's gonna happen, in what timeline or anything, but revisiting an untested area like this on weekly, high potential, right? So if it can go from 60 something k all the way down to 20k, they sure as hell it can weak down in panic and go to like 10, 12k, right? Because, you know, you did 80% drops in the past and you can do it again. And an 80% drop this time is like 12k. So potentially somebody can dump. 87% drop happened in the past as well. So this area right here is very, very revisitable, right? And you already know, if it goes to anywhere near 7k, I'm smashing hard. I'm smashing that buy button hard. And the more panic I see, the happier I'll be, man. The happier I'll be. I love panic. But a pretty big one. See, Lucid Motors, long play, got in 3 a share. So what do you, wait, sorry, Lucid Morris, Churchill Capital Corporation. What the hell, this is definitely not this, is it? Nope, this can be it. Oh, it is. Wow, you put in some good trades there, man. Wow, that's a good position to be in. May I ask where your profit take is? I will not say it in advance. I'll ask you where the profit take is, but this is actually a pretty good entry. Not gonna lie to you, man. This is a pretty good entry. This is exactly where I would enter if I was playing this exactly to the dot. So I'm gonna ask you next, where is your profit take, right? Before I say anything further. Ryan says, I know, but I think it will go up. Well, shit, you know, many things we think they will go up and they don't. But that's actually how you fake yourself in trading, you know, because you forget all the bad things you did, right? So most oftenly, I'm going to have a list of like, I don't know, 20 coins, right? It's going to be a list, right? And let's just say if I had 20 trades, right? I lost 15 on them, on some coins, and 5 I won, right? I'm going to forget these 15 a lot quicker than the ones that I've missed, right? So usually the 5 that I missed are gonna be embedded way more in my skull than the ones that I would have lost, right? So then I say, oh shit, but I knew this is gonna go up and I didn't take the trade. Fuck no, right? I mean, I could have made good money, but I totally forgot that I would have lost on 5 other trades in the same case when I thought exactly the same, and then I would probably even be down lower than when I once started off, right? I'm down at Litecoin. I do believe Litecoin will do well. Yeah, I mean, so far nothing is missing from Litecoin, so yes, it's still. I already lost 200k because of liquidation. Only got 10k left. That's why. Oh my gosh, friend. So actually, you're doing exactly what I'm telling you. Not. Huh. Well, man. If you already lost 200 grand, why would you do it again? You know. Okay, so let's just say right now, what is the purpose of this? So let's just say you put 10 grand on. Right, you do it at 50x. At that point, I don't even know what your liquidation would be because I'm not sure how much back you have for collateral, but we are talking probably in the midst of like $10. There's going to be liquidation. I mean, that's a super risky play. And if you lose this last 10 grand, I mean, I don't know. At this point of stage, I'm gonna tell you, you have probably more chances of winning that big if you throw in at like a project that's gonna list on Uniswap. Probably have better chances. But what I'm saying is, you know, for you to hit the coin at its lowest rate, right? So let's just say you gotta hit it right on the bottom and not be wrong for even $5 or $10. You have very low chances of doing that. And you know, I'm gonna tell you, like, you already lost 200k doing this, right? I mean, shouldn't that tell you something? That it's probably not the correct approach. I don't know, Rand. This is a very questionable position you put in yourself in. Because I, like, on the beginning, right, years and years ago, I got liquidated too, but definitely not on a high as you got, right? Because I used to play, believe it or not, probably more than 6 or 7 years ago, I used to play shit without stop loss as well. And that's exactly what it happened to me, but not in such a big, I lost like a couple of grand or something, right? Before I started seeing that, yes, you cannot gamble so much, right? But I come from background of poker, you know, so I knew exactly how to bankroll management and all that works, right? So I didn't have much issues when it comes to trading. I figured out pretty quickly, but a lot of people do struggle with that, I'm sure. Evgeny from T, yes, but institutional ain't it changes the game. Volatility is lower already. Only 30% drops, was 40% in the bull 2017. Fundamentally for Bitcoin, yes. Yes, you're correct, David. You are absolutely correct. But do not underestimate the panics. The panics could happen, you know. And the panic in crypto is a strong tool, and it could happen. But like I said, if the 7K or something like this would not happen, right? Because it's, you know, potentially just so low. The 20K one is, at this point, I mean, it's a high chances, right? Really high chances. I'm holding it for years. Hopefully it's a bit of a risky play. Hopefully it's a bit of a risky play. I have no idea, I mean, how well the company stands, but I guess if it's a good one, right? It is a good one, after all. ADA, explode now. Gold listed on Coinbase, right? What? Seriously? Isn't ADA already on Coinbase? Oh, it doesn't seem so. Oh, look at that. Well, now you know the trade, guys. Now you know the trade. Go above this left side and you take it again in this area, and then boom. Let's go up to 170, right? That was what you would be aiming for if Ethereum lasts. That's exactly what you'll be aiming for, yeah. Okay, guys, this stream has been going on for 70 minutes, so I guess it's time to end it up right here, wrap it up. I didn't think it's gonna be that long today. I mean, you guys had a lot of questions. I mean, didn't expect it because, you know, the alt market is a little bit more questionable than mine. Like, not questionable, but just slow, right? So I didn't expect that many questions, but definitely glad to answer them. So yes, thank you for advice, Rand. Even though if you're gonna wait for confirmation, you know, 10 grand at 50x is not what I'm gonna suggest you. It's not the right way of trading, Rand. You need to switch up. If it doesn't liquidate you now, it's gonna in the future. Sooner or later, you're gonna end up on zero doing that. You know, it's if the trading was that easy, everybody would be doing it. It takes years and years of practice and and controlling your emotions and building up your self-esteem and etc. to be able to pull something like that off what you're trying to do, right? And even then, when you finally get to that stage, I will never do a risky trade like you do here, right here. I do not do such risky trades. I always go in with like half a point risk, or, you know, I'm talking 1% risk. But if I'm like, you know, obviously if I'm scalping, then I usually go over for less than 1%, 0.5%, something like that. Sometimes, like like this Binance Smart Chain View, I'll sometimes go even 0.25%. It's not a lot of money at the end of the day, but it is still, you know, you gotta make a living somehow, and you have to be consistent, because if you're not consistent, you just end up back at the streets, or, you know, going back to your daily job or whatever, right? So you really gotta be smart about it. Lost for words, you said it's a bit risky because they haven't sold any cars yet, but they have some great plays. Oh shit, if they haven't sold any cars yet, but then yeah. Okay, so definitely then it's a full risk play. It's a full risk play for sure. So keep that stop loss close, man. Thanks, Alex, joined the evening. Yes, Max, thank you as well, man, for watching. Rand, there's not trailers. Okay, Rand, you know, it's not the problem of not trading, Rand. You need to go out and study. If you want to do this type of shit, you need to study, man. You need to watch the videos, like not just any videos, right? Just watch some good stuff, right? There are some good players out there that can show you, right? And yeah, do something that more sense. Do not, I'm not encouraging you to wait or something. A week won't change much, right? So yeah, thank you for watching, guys. We will be seeing each other on the 23rd, right? Same time, 4 p.m. UTC. So yeah, guys, thank you for watching. See you then, and bye.